Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks, the news that sticks. That's SOS, isn't it?
SMS.
Anyway, this is the short form version of the bigger podcast where we take a news story, digest it a little bit, and then try and figure out what we could do better. Kind of, I suppose, or I make a very tangential question off this. So I'm going to do that right now. So the news story this week, you may have seen it around.
I thought he was going for the question before the actual news. I think we're turning everything on its head.
No, I'm not that clever. Anyway, right.
Just before we finish, we'll say our names.
Sorry, yeah, I'm Dom.
I'm Ross.
And I'm Dan.
Oh, hello. Sorry about that. So
we always forget that on the news.
Who, me?
All of us.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Sorry, the news story. It's been around a lot today, which is Monday.
Oh, I haven't seen the news today.
Have you not?
That'll be last Monday when the listeners are listening.
Yes, it'll be last Monday when they listen. I was trying to think of a Monday the 7th of August.
What we should really start doing is pre-planning the news.
And then creating the news ourselves.
So that the news...
Future news.
So that the news comes... When we release the news that sticks, it's the news of the day. Like the guy in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, right, okay.
James Bond, yeah. He's like a Rupert Murdoch type character, isn't he? And he makes the news. He's been like playing all these countries against each other because he was sort of stirring the war pot because he was getting the exclusives on it.
I'll tell you what, the weather's been nice today, isn't it? Sunny, a little bit of cloud, 21, high.
What's the wind looking like? I didn't go out much.
I don't know if I can get the wind for next Monday on here. Hang on.
14,
I don't know if I can get the
This is
full
a
weather
fucking shipping
account.
forecast. Cromarty 5. Fair. To middling. Right. Anyway, so this has been all over social media.
A review of our podcast.
Yeah.
Fair to middling, yeah. This has been all over social media and news today. It says, teenager eaten, inverted commas, by mystery flesh-eating bugs while paddling in the sea.
I did see that.
Really?
This is this guy, he was playing, I'll give you a sort of, I won't read the article.
Is it like the leeches in...
You go for another Bond film now?
No, what's it called? Series of Unfortunate Events. If you've just eaten, you can't go in the water for an hour after you've eaten, otherwise the leeches will eat you alive.
I don't know what Series of Unfortunate Events is.
Oh, it's Lemony Snicket.
There was a film with Jim Carrey.
There was a film and then there was a TV series.
And
the flesh-eating creatures were in both.
I see. Anyway, basically, this lad, he'd injured himself in a football match in Australia.
Yeah. What is Australia? Everything eats you in Australia.
That's the solution to this problem. Don't go to Australia unless you want death.
Yes. And anyway, this is in Brighton, Melbourne. He played a football game, injured himself, decided to go down the beach because everywhere you are in Australia is at least 2 minutes walk away from a beach.
That's massively incorrect, but yes.
That's geographically accurate, but yeah, let's just go with it.
Near any civilization,
I went down.
Australia is just like a giant, like as a country, it's like a giant donut.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's just 1 mile wide in a donut shape. That middle bit isn't actually land.
It's a ring world. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so he went for a paddle, and then he came out minutes later with blood all over his legs. Blood. And nobody's quite sure what happened. Blood. And some sick.
What is that from?
Garth Marenghi's
God, fucking hell, yeah.
Oh my God.
He said that he felt tingling at his legs, but though that may have been the result of his football injury.
Yeah.
But he added, my first instinct that I must have stepped on a rock, but I realised it couldn't have been because it was evenly distributed over my whole ankle and foot. So here's the picture. Looks a bit like Carrie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood, isn't it?
Yes, to describe it to the listeners who haven't seen this, it looks a bit like they've got a sort of a novelty blood type liquid and he's dipped his foot in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He went to hospital because they weren't able to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop bleeding, this thing. And doctors were left scratching
Imagine all the sand in it as well.
Doctors weren't sure what happened. So his dad went and caught them all, and no one was quite sure what they were for a while. Turns out, I think they were like jellyfish larvae or something like that.
Oh, so she's got lots of little stings.
No, they're like mighty things that sort of bite.
Oh,
They're a little bit unsure as to what it is, but they're pretty sure they're like jellyfish larvae or sea mites.
Didn't he? And I might have seen this on a joke website. but I'm pretty sure that I saw
Daily Mash or something.
I'm pretty sure that I saw a little bit like, like a Jaws type situation, that the dad went down with some like meat and basically...
No, he did that. The dad went down there, put some meat in the water in a bag and caught a load of these things.
Yeah, in order to try and
Try and figure out what it was.
Because they managed to stop the bleeding in the end.
How amazing is that? So, tell me that's not dragging some meat behind a boat to try and catch a giant shark.
Yeah. So basically that's what his dad went down there with some meat.
Scale.
Yeah. So
we're going to need a smaller boat.
But we're going to need a little remote control boat. But a lot of like these sort of shit I saw today was like, lad bit by aliens or something like that. Now if this was a precursor to an alien invasion, basically what the question is, what would you do in an alien invasion?
What would I do?
This is extremely tangential. So people start turning up with mysterious industries. Like
yes, I work for the flab industry.
Yeah, I like sleep, whatever. Start turning up with mysterious injuries that won't stop bleeding and made by some sort of...
You can't say injuries, can you?
Injuries. They're made by some sort of exotic...
Wait a minute, is this the second sign that there's been an alien invasion? Invasion of the body snatchers.
People of Earth.
We have removed all your J's.
We have turned you all Spanish. All if I ever say injury like injury.
Anyway, all that sort of thing, and it's quite obvious. It's quite obvious that it's an alien invasion, and you start seeing, crazy ships appearing in the sky
that look like castanets.
That look like castanets. Exactly that. This is a bit like a Rick and Morty episode. I know you're not familiar with it.
You know what's good with this alien invasion? Between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they'll be asleep.
What is it that you've watched Rick and Morty, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
You know the interdimensional cable episode where they're doing the weird like
we're
trailer.
watching the other
it's like
episodes.
a Mexican armada, and then it's like giant sombrero spaceships coming down.
So we've got I feel like this episode we've actually got a guitar here. I don't know what the chord is. Isn't it like...
It's just up high somewhere then. Oh, it's that.
Anyway, so some giant Spanish aliens come to attack the Earth.
This is a horribly out of tune guitar.
Yeah, what do you do? What's the first thing you do? And talk me through your plan there. This is a bit of like the sort of what would you do in a zombie apocalypse situation.
So first of all, if they're
are they like parasitical, like very small, like these little larvae, or are they full-size aliens?
Their sort of first wave.
Okay,
that's been and gone. Now their true forms arrive.
They've hatched.
Shit. And now their motherships have come to consume the Earth or invade the Earth.
I'm going to dig a moat. I don't know why, but I'm going to dig a moat and I'm going to put a shark in it, maybe a crocodile.
Wait, we've already seen that they're in the liquids though.
See, they're already in the ocean. Liquids are bad.
Are they going to eat my shark?
They're probably going to eat your shark, and then if you accidentally
possibly assimilate it.
Oh yeah.
If you accidentally fall in, it's going to be curtains.
I do like the idea of a moat though. I feel like moats protect everyone from everything.
General.
Well, moats worked for years, didn't they? So I feel like they'd still work.
So this
they're coming from the sky, Ross.
They can't get over a moat though, Dom.
There's all this mortgage talk before the show, like where it's been suggested that Ross is going to get a little bit more loan on his mortgage than before. He's already thinking moats.
I've already bought a JCB.
Well, I mean, if they're Spanish aliens, I would probably begin by making a nice paella.
No, but that attracts them. What scares the Spanish off?
Well, I'm talking.
Do you want to try and pacify them?
Yeah,
with paella.
You'd be their friend.
Yeah, I'll be the
one of the greys.
Be the what's the word? Like the
envoy.
Yeah,
ambassador.
From the human peoples to the
Spanish invasion.
Yeah,
the Armada. Let's call it
the Armada.
The Spanish Armada.
Yeah.
But they have giant Chorizo swords.
Well, to be honest,
light Chorizo swords.
I've got no problem with this world being taken over as long as
I love chorizo.
As long as they're open to new recipes. Had chorizo at the weekend.
I love a bit of chorizo.
We eat a lot of it.
I think we do, all of us.
Yeah, I love it.
Because it's
bad for you meat, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is, you only have to use it in a small quantity for it to be extremely tasty.
Yeah.
It's very true. My mum puts a decent amount though in her paella.
Anything is better with that and a bit of cheese. All meals can be improved with those two things.
You know what? I can get behind that.
So we've solved it. We're just going to give them a giant paella. We're going to make Spain into a giant paella.
Well,
man.
I mean, essentially, I really like Hispanic food.
Yeah.
So, like if we can kind of like,
You know, some tapas.
I was thinking combine
Yeah.
all of these sort of like Hispanic foodstuffs from around the world. We can get some Mexican in there, a bit of Portuguese.
So a giant paella, enchilada, and peri peri chicken.
Oh man, absolutely.
That's more Portuguese, right?
Chicken fajitas.
Huh?
That's more Portuguese, right?
Portuguese.
Oh,
that's
right.
all like Hispanic as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Brazilian steak.
just get a country, get one of the rubbish ones.
Which one, Dan?
The UK.
Yeah. Okay. At least that's already got a moat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a moat there, so that
The UK's got a very big moat around it.
That's true.
Like we can section it off. So Scotland, they can take care of the fried foodstuffs.
So churros.
They can do the churros.
They've got enough
They can
kebab
fry-
houses, haven't they?
They can fry up the
do that.
chorizo
Yeah.
and do all that sort of thing. Then over in Wales, we can turn that into. I mean, I suppose
They can probably sing them a song, maybe. They're quite musical over in Wales, aren't they?
Yes,
Lovely close harmonies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They do like a sing song.
they got a lot of meat there, haven't they?
A lot of
A
lamb.
lot of lamb, yeah.
A lot of lamb. So maybe we can
Much
do
lamb.
some. I don't know. Maybe some. There's not a lot of lamb in Spanish cuisine, is there?
Well, it might be.
We can make some fajitas
what
out
are
of the lamb.
Lamb fajitas. Lamb fajitas.
Yeah.
And they also have Welsh cakes in Wales, and they're one of the best things ever.
Basically, yeah. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine.
Culinary
warfare.
What I would do, I would turn the UK into a
Giant
hotspot,
kitchen.
for interdimensional.
They do say that the way
planetary culinary experiences.
they do say the way
Heston
to
Blumenthal at the helm,
an alien's heart is through its stomach.
There you go.
even though his stomach is on his ear.
And his heart is in his foot.
It's a long way in.
It's a long way down. They have to keep on doing this. They have to tap their foot in time with the flamenco beat to
If you
keep their heart beating.
And if you stand on their foot, they get an erection.
Yeah. Well, that's how they have sex, Ross.
Standing on each other's feet.
Mm.
What about your ideas, Ross?
Moat. I told you.
It's-
Okay, right. Well,
What about you, Dom?
Done?
I don't know. I quite like the idea of taking down the Hispanozoids with culinary pacification.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately what we need to strive for is some
Peace.
bit of communication and peace between.
No nukes.
Yeah,
No nuclear
I mean,
burritos, perhaps.
they're probably coming down here thinking that we don't like that kind of thing.
And you're there to prove that we do.
They've probably picked up some transmissions from Donald Trump.
Turn Russia into some into a tapas plate.
They see Donald Trump talking and they're like, "Hey, he's talking about our brethren."
Yeah. True. Mexican rapists and all that. Well, that's something Donald Trump said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, we're not getting into that right
And those
now.
Chiquito restaurants are popping up all over the place, so they'll
That's
see
their first
those.
wave.
They'll see those, and they'll realise that we enjoy the Spanish.
That's true.
That's how they got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then. Well, that's the news that sticks for this week. If you want to get into contact with us, find us at stickitpod.com, where you can find links to all our social media sites. Send us your problems, news ideas, corrections, general hellos, general goodbyes, maybe not the goodbyes, and perhaps some ideas for how to survive an alien invasion from Spanish aliens. For this week, I've been Dom.
Ivan Ross.
And I've been Dan. Adios.